In the heart of India's remarkable journey on the global business stage lies the Tata Group, an industrial conglomerate with a legacy spanning nearly 2 centuries. While Tata Motors may be the most recognized arm of this conglomerate, its influence extends far beyond the automotive industry. In this video, we'll delve into 3 generations of Tata visionaries to understand how they nurtured one of India's most successful and enduring corporate legacies. The Tata story commences during a pivotal era in India's history, under the British Empire's rule. India was a major exporter of cotton, yet the oppressive policies of the British East India Company stifled local entrepreneurship. The brutal treatment meted out by the company left scant opportunities for indigenous businesses to flourish. This dire situation eventually culminated in the 1857 rebellion, which marked the end of the British East India Company's dominance and ushered in the British Raj. While the British Raj continued to assert control, it displayed a different approach from its predecessor. The Raj, in contrast, aimed at maintaining peace and stability. It not only moderated its exploitation of the Indian population, but also invested significantly in infrastructure development, most notably, India's first railway networks. Jamsetji Tata, born into a family of exporters in Mumbai, was among the first Indian entrepreneurs to seize these newfound opportunities. Graduating in 1858, he entered the business landscape at the perfect moment to capitalize on the economic reforms initiated by the British Raj. Observing the growth of his father's export business, Jamsetji ventured to Hong Kong in 1859 to establish a subsidiary. It was here, amidst the grandeur of British commerce, that he recognized the boundless global potential of the Tata export business. Over the course of the next decade, Jamsetji Tata embarked on an extraordinary journey, one that would lay the foundation for the remarkable legacy of the Tata Group. His travels took him across continents, including Japan, China, and Great Britain, where he diligently established a network of distribution for his father's business. In 1868, fueled by his entrepreneurial spirit and the earnings he had accumulated, Jamsetji took a bold step forward. He founded his own exporting company, marking the beginning of an empire. Not content with mere trade, he ventured into manufacturing by establishing textile mills, pioneering a vertically integrated business model that was novel in India at the time. From the very outset, Jamsetji embraced a philosophy of seeking the best practices from around the world and bringing them back to India. In his textile mills, he introduced policies virtually unheard of in India, such as offering sickness benefits and pensions to his employees, setting new standards for labor welfare. However, Jamsetji's ambitions extended beyond the textile industry. Inspired by the wonders of the Industrial Revolution he had witnessed in Europe, Jamsetji embarked on ambitious projects. In 1901, he initiated the construction of a steel production plant, drawing inspiration from the advanced steel industry of Germany. Even more audacious was his vision for a hydroelectric project, a concept he had glimpsed during a visit to the power plant at Niagara Falls in 1903. Recognizing the potential of tourism, Jamsetji diversified his ventures, creating a chain of iconic hotels. The Taj Mahal Palace Hotel, a testament to his vision, remains an enduring symbol in the heart of Mumbai to this day. Jamsetji was not solely dedicated to business. He was equally committed to the betterment of society. His deep appreciation for education led him to donate land and buildings, a significant contribution towards the establishment of the Indian Institute of Science, a distinguished institution in India. Tragically, Jamsetji Tata's life was cut short during a business trip to Germany in 1904. He left behind a thriving Tata company, already a formidable presence to his 2 sons. Jamsetji Tata's sons played a pivotal role in realizing their father's dreams. Together, they consolidated their ownership into a single holding company, which in turn is owned by the charitable trusts they established for the benefit of future generations. Building on their father's vision, Jamsetji's sons achieved significant milestones. In 1907, they oversaw the creation of India's first steelworks. In 1912, India witnessed the birth of its first cement plant, followed by the establishment of the nation's first indigenous insurance company in 1919. By 1938, Tata's sons had expanded to comprise 14 distinct companies, each contributing to India's industrial landscape. However, in an intriguing twist of fate, leadership did not pass to one of Jamsetji's grandsons this time. Instead, it found its way into the hands of a distant cousin with a truly fascinating background, Jahangir Tata, better known as JRD, had been with the company since 1925. Raised in France, he had close ties to the pioneer who made the first flight across the English Channel. Remarkably, JRD held India's first pilot license, and it was no surprise that his inaugural project at Tata was to venture into the world of aviation. In 1932, he founded Tata Air Service, initially dedicated to mail carriage, but later expanding to passenger flights in 1938. This airline even played a vital role in supporting the British during the Second World War. While India's independence in 1947 marked a significant historical moment, it posed challenges for the Tatas. The socialist policies of the newly formed government clashed with private business interests. Recognizing JRD's success with the airline, India's first Prime Minister unilaterally nationalized it in 1953. Despite retaining JRD as the airline's chairman until 1977, the company struggled, weighed down by mounting debt. However, JRD was determined to navigate the complex political landscape while advancing the Tata Group. In 1945, he established Tata Motors, originally with a focus on locomotives. In 1954, he expanded into commercial vehicles through a partnership with the German car company Daimler. Over his remarkable 52-year leadership tenure, JRD expanded the Tata Group from 14 companies to a formidable 95. To accommodate the socialist policies, he significantly reduced Tata Sons' ownership in each subsidiary. In 1969, the Indian government introduced the Monopolies and Restrictive Trade Practices Act, a regulatory measure that appeared to target Tata, even though by Western standards, the conglomerate was far from being a monopoly. As JRD continued to expand the group and reduce Tata Sons' ownership in its individual subsidiaries, his control gradually weakened. Some of these companies faced performance challenges, and the man he entrusted to address these issues was none other than Ratan Tata. Ratan Tata, a great-grandchild of Jamsetji, had joined the Tata Group in 1962. His inaugural major undertaking arrived in 1971 and proved to be quite challenging. Ratan was assigned to oversee Nelco, a struggling Tata company that had once been India's leading radio producer in the 1950s, but had seen its market share dwindle to a mere 3% 2 decades later. Ratan's strategic focus was on technology and the future. Rather than attempting to salvage the declining radio business, he chose to allocate resources to develop innovative products such as satellite communications. This visionary move not only revitalized Nelco in the 1980s, but also positioned Ratan as the apparent successor to JRD. Ratan Tata assumed leadership of the Tata Group in 1991, a pivotal moment coinciding with the sweeping wave of economic liberalization that was transforming India. This period marked a significant shift as socialist policies gave way to India's integration into the global capital market. However, this newfound openness presented a substantial challenge for Tata. Until that point, Tata had thrived in a highly protected domestic economy, shielded from foreign competition. Compounding the challenge, JRD Tata's leadership had led to a highly decentralized corporate structure, making the conglomerate slow to respond to emerging global competitors. For Ratan Tata, there was no alternative but to reassert control over Tata's numerous subsidiaries, a task that came with a significant financial burden. To fund this reorganization, he divested a 20% stake in Tata Sons, the holding company, and reinvested the proceeds into Tata subsidiaries, with a particular focus on companies like Tata Steel and Tata Motors. This restructuring effort aimed to establish a more cohesive framework for effective control. However, wielding authority alone could not reverse the fortunes of Tata's struggling businesses. In the 1990s, most Tata companies were losing ground to international rivals. Ratan Tata's response, however, was nothing short of ingenious. He initiated a series of strategic acquisitions of foreign competitors, assimilating them into the Tata Group. This approach allowed Tata to tap into foreign talent, supply chains, and expertise, while simultaneously strengthening its presence in the Indian market and expanding globally. Ratan's acquisition journey began in the year 2000, when Tata Tea, one of the group's companies, acquired the British company Tetley. Over the next decade, Tata, under Ratan's leadership, executed numerous acquisitions across multiple subsidiaries. Most notably, in 2007, Tata acquired the European steel giant Chorus for a staggering $12 billion, and followed this up with the purchase of Jaguar and Land Rover for $2 billion in 2008. The international buying spree has proven to be a strategic masterstroke for Tata, with a substantial portion of its current revenues originating from outside India. This strategic shift not only revitalized the group, but also positioned Tata as a global player on the international stage. However, the Tata Group's influence extended beyond steel and automotive. It diversified into diverse sectors, including information technology, telecommunications, hospitality, and more. Tata Consultancy Services, TCS, one of the group's IT services subsidiaries, emerged as a global IT powerhouse, providing cutting-edge solutions to clients worldwide. Tata's commitment to sustainability and social responsibility also became increasingly evident. The conglomerate launched initiatives in education, healthcare, and rural development, striving to uplift communities and contribute to India's progress. Today, the Tata Group stands as a global conglomerate with a presence in over 100 countries, contributing significantly to India's economic growth and international standing.